Good evening to all of you. Today we are going to discuss the council meeting recommendation, 52nd council meeting. We all know that it had at Delhi on 7th of October 2023. So we will start in just 2 minutes. Today, major agenda of this discussion would be what is the basic recommendation in the 52nd GST Council meeting. We all know that there are various beneficial points which has been taken for the taxpayer, and whether there is any adverse impact on any of the point we will discuss in detail. So let me start the discussion in just 1 more minute. Allow me 1 more minute so that then we can start the discussion. Meanwhile, if you have any question, you can put in the chat. Agar aapka koi question hai, you can put that question in the chat. Very good evening to all the participants. So let me start the discussion. Very good evening to all. Let me start the discussion. '52nd GST Council meeting under the chairpersonship of Union Finance Minister and Corporate Affairs Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman Madam in New Delhi on 7th of October. The meeting was also attended by Sri Pankaj Chaudhary ji, Chief Minister of Goa and Meghalaya, holding finance portfolio beside Finance Minister of State and UT with senior officer of Ministry of the Finance and State and UT. Now let me discuss one by one changes with respect to goods. So the first, because it is a millet year, so they are saying GST rate on the food preparation, GST rate on food preparation of millet, and then what is that written? Flour in powder form, containing at least 70% millets by weight. Point to be noted, that they have not given the relaxation for all type of the millets. No, only they have given the relaxation for the flour. Let's say I have the millets flour. Let's say it's barley or it's any other, and I have mixed with the normal atta. Then if that millets is having 70% weight, in that case, it will fall under this HSN code, and with effect from the date of the notification, they will notify. So the rate would be 0% exempted if it is pre-packaged and not in the pre-packaged and label. And if it is pre-packaged and labeled, then it is 5%. So please, only one understanding I like to rectify, that it is only with respect to the flour and not for all millet product. So let's say we know that there is a millet noodles, there is a millet biscuit. So whether this relaxation would be given to all such product, answer is no, because they have given only this tax rate for the flour. Second item, to clarify that imitation zari thread or the yarn made out of the metallized polyester film or plastic film made under this HSN code are covered by the imitation entry for the imitation zari thread and attract 5%. However, they are saying no refund will be allowed on the polyester yarn or plastic form on account of the inversion. So the probably what happened, because they have reduced the tax rate on the thread, which is of imitation zari, probably plastic film, let's say it is being carrying that GST rate of the 12%, and imitation zari thread is carrying the GST rate now 5%. What happened? It will be under inverted duty. And they are saying no refund will be allowed on these on account of the inversion. Fine. Foreign going vessel are liable to pay 5% IGST. A very good evening to all. I hope everyone are clear. If you have any question, meanwhile, I request everyone to raise the question one by one simultaneously, so that after half an hour, probably we will switch to the live question and answer so that I can handle the queries. Now they are saying that foreign going vessel are liable to pay GST at the rate of 5% on the value of the vessel if it is converted to the coastal run. If it converts to the coastal run, GST Council recommend conditional IGST exemption to the foreign flag foreign going vessel when it convert to the coastal run, subject to the recommendation of the subject to the reconversion of the foreign going vessel in the 6 months. So in normally what happened in the winter season, so these vessels are being kept in the coastal area, let 3 to 4 months. At that point of time, it is not going to be used, but after that it is being used. Then in that case, they are saying the conditional IGST exemption would be granted if that reconversion to the foreign going vessel is within 6 months. However, when the circular or the notification will be issued, we will have the more clarity. Now the other changes relating to the goods. GST Council recommend to keep ENA used for manufacturing of alcoholic liquor outside the GST. Why they are saying outside the GST? Law committee will examine suitable amendment in the law to exclude ENA for use in the manufacturing of alcoholic liquor for human consumption from ambit. Now you try to understand why. So I feel that this move is in the spirit of the corporate federalism. This particular decision, it is a loss to the center, but benefit to the state. Why? Anybody who remember, anybody who knows the Allahabad High Court judgment in this particular matter? Do you know Allahabad High Court judgment in this particular matter? There is a recent High Court judgment. Anybody who knows the judgment of what is the problem? The problem is Allahabad High Court recently they have given the judgment that the VAT cannot be levied on this particular ENA. So extra neutral alcohol has to use. One is for alcoholic liquor for human consumption. See, try to understand ENA have the 95% component of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. It will be converted into it will be used in the manufacturing of alcoholic liquor. So ENA per se, it is leviable to GST. Allahabad High Court say that the day when the constitution has been amended, 101 Constitution Amendment Act, then state has lose the power to charge the VAT on the ENA. State has lose the power to charge the VAT on the ENA. And now the GST Council is saying that we will not take the GST on ENA. What does it mean? It's a very interesting discussion. They are saying they will make the suitable amendment in the law. Why they will make the suitable amendment? If you refer the section 9, subsection 1 of the CGST Act, levy section, which product is being excluded? Can anybody tell me which product is being excluded from charging the GST? I'm talking about the levy section. Which product is excluded from the GST? कौन सा product exclude किया है from GST? The answer is alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption. If the alcoholic liquor for human consumption is being excluded, whether ENA has been excluded, answer is no. It means ENA is GST-able product. After that Allahabad High Court judgment, we can easily say that ENA VAT cannot be charged. It can only be charged the GST. And now you will understand that what is the benefit? Then government is saying that we will not charge the GST also. It means ENA will neither carrying the VAT or nor carrying the GST in that going forward, whenever the suitable amendment will made in the why they have forgo the right to charge the GST on ENA especially, because if ENA GST is being charged and maximum it is being used for the alcoholic liquor for human consumption, right? So it means, and ITC cannot be taken. Suppose if so, as of now, ENA which is being used for the industrial purpose is carrying the GST at the rate of 18%. But let's say they are charging the GST on ENA which is used for alcoholic liquor for human consumption, then what happen? The cost of the alcoholic liquor will increase. If the cost of alcoholic liquor will increase, then there would be the lesser possibility to charge the higher rate of the excise duty or VAT by the state on the alcoholic liquor for human consumption. See, alcoholic liquor for human consumption is still in the ambit of the state VAT. So once, let's say GST is being charged on the input of alcoholic liquor and outward is out of GST, so that GST become cost to that industry, alcoholic liquor. So now, if the GST will not be charged on the ENA, it means it is going to benefit the alcoholic liquor company. And if it is going to give the benefit to the alcoholic liquor company, the state can charge comparatively higher amount of respective VAT. So this is my understanding. To reduce the GST from 28 to 5, this will increase liquidity with mills and enable faster clearance of the cane during the dues to the sugarcane farmer. This will also lead to the reduction in the cost of the manufacturing the cattle feed, as molasses is also an ingredient in the manufacturing. So molasses is also being used in the alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Please note, it is also being used in the alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Again, the concept which I have explained in the point number 1, probably that would also be the one of the reason that they like to bring the rate on, they like to bring the, they like to reduce the input material of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So state can correspondingly charge the respective local tax or VAT or excise duty on these manufacturing of alcoholic liquor. The third, a tariff HSN code has been created 8-digit level in the custom tariff to cover the spread for industrial use. The GST rate notification will be amended to create an entry ENA for industrial use that is attracting 18%. So industrial use, there is no problem. Now they are saying GST rate on serviceage. Entries serial number 3 and 3A of the notification 12/2017 exempt pure and composite supply provided to the central, state, UT government and local authority in relation to any function interested with the panchayat or municipality, which is being given in the article 243G and 243W. The GST Council has recommended to retain the existing exemption entry with no changes. So multiple times this particular matter was discussed in the previous council meeting. If you refer the minutes of the meeting, they like to make the positive list of the serial number 3 and 3A because currently it is wider scope. It is covering all the see, if you refer these entry and respective schedule which covers all such entry, and if you refer the language used in the serial number 3 and 3A in relation to the activity, any function which is being assigned interested to the panchayat or municipality, it means water supply, health, education. So you will find multiple entry by which the scope is very enlarged, but now they are saying we will not make any changes in this entry. So now that the discussion which was going on, that put an end. Further, they are saying the GST Council also recommend to exempt the supply of the water supply, public health, sanitation, conservancy, solid waste management, and slum improvement and upgradation. Only 5 transactions which has been supplied to the government authority. Now, in the government authority, if you see initial days, the serial number 3 and 3A, that was only covering government authority. Then government entity has been added later on. Again, that particular amendment in the January 22, that entry has been changed and government authority and government entry has been excluded. It means in the current date, if you provide the service in relation to the article 243 and W, but to the government authority or government entity, then that is not exempted. Now they are saying we will bring the exemption, but this time we will not bring the exemption for all entries, for entire article, entire schedule. So they are limiting the exemption to the extent of water supply, public health, sanitation, solid waste management, and slum improvement and upgradation. So these are the 5 things which has been added. So I can say this would be the positive list. Other changes relating to serviceage. So Asa madam, state still can't levy the tax on the ENA because as per the Allahabad High Court judgment, they are saying that state cannot charge the VAT because they loses the power. After the amendment, after the GST is being introduced, only one entry, if you refer the definition or if you refer the state list, only one entry, that is alcoholic liquor for human consumption, are in the ambit of the state VAT. It means whether ENA is the alcoholic liquor for human consumption, answer is no. because ENA per se cannot be used for human consumption, because it will be going through some process and then it will be used for alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So after Allahabad High Court judgment, there is a huge possibility that no state will continue to charge the VAT. And they do not like to, now it appears they do not like to charge the VAT also. And now center has also forgo the right to charge the GST, by which the rate of alcoholic liquor is going to be reduced. Rate of alcoholic liquor for human consumption will going to be reduced. And now the state can compensate, or state can increase by imposing the VAT or excise duty, whatever it is applicable. Correct? So first, to clarify that job work for processing of barley into the malt attract GST at the rate of 5%, which is applicable to job work in relation to the food and food product, and not 18%. So what was the doubt? There was entry serial number 26, which talks about, one second. Job work in relation to the malt. Clarify that job work for processing of the barley into the malt attract the GST at the rate of 5%. The doubt was there was notices which is being issued if the barley is being used into the conversion of the malt barley, and which is basically being used only for the alcoholic liquor of human consumption. So they are saying that job work will attract 18%. Reason? Because if you talk about the alcoholic liquor, there was a clarification long days back that job work of alcoholic liquor is not the food product, and therefore the job work will attract the GST at the rate of 18%. Based on that, I have seen certain notices of Rajasthan. They are raising the notices that this particular barley ka conversion into the malt barley, which is being used as an input for the alcoholic liquor for human consumption, will attract the GST of 18, not 5. So they have clarified basically that it will attract the GST 5, not 18. From 1st of Jan 2022, we know Section 9.5. Quickly tell me in the chat box, what are the transaction covered in the 9.5? Please tell me in the chat कि 9.5 में कौन-कौन से transaction covered है. Please tell me in the chat box that which all transactions are covered in the 9.5. I'm keeping 1 minute on hold. The discussion I'm keeping on hold. I'm waiting for the reply that what are the services of the transaction covered in the 9 subsection 5. Supplies of e-commerce supplies through e-commerce operator. Which supply? Ola, Uber, Oyo Rooms, Urban Clap, Swiggy, restaurant, etc. So there are certain inclusion, there are certain exclusion. I like to talk the entry number one. Entry number means one means transportation related services through radio tax, through e-commerce operator like radio taxi, meter cab, maxi cab. Now that omnibus, etc. bus has also been included from January 22. Now they are saying that if the bus transportation services are being rendered by company through ECO, it means if any company, so please note one thing, that this time they are giving the relaxation based on the formation of the registered person. So if the status is of company, then it will be excluded from 9(5). It means if the bus provider is the private limited company, then this company would be liable to pay the tax. The mediator will not be liable to pay the tax. So main reason, so that they are enabled to take input tax credit. So main reason of the 9 subsection 5, the main problem of the 9(5), the actual supplier, because the liability is being shifted on ECU to pay the tax. Liability is being shifted on ECU to pay the tax, right? Now, so in that case, this particular supplier will not be able to take any input tax credit. So therefore, probably that was the reason to again back to the or exclude from the 9(5), so that these bus operator can take the ITC. To clarify, that District Mineral Foundation Trust set up by the state government. So state government have set up to create this type of the trust. Basically, they are giving the health related services, education related services in the mining areas, so the people who are near to that area, families, very poor family or very uneducated family. So they are giving the health related services, they are giving the education services, they are giving the water supply, proper pure water supply to them. These are the main work of the District Mineral Foundation Trust. But as of now, there is no exemption. Now they are saying it will be available as it is available to the government authority. Now, till now, there is no exemption to the government authority from January 22. Now, in the top, we have discussed that now this government authority will get the exemption of 5 items, 5 categories of the supply like water supply, etc. That exemption would be extended to the DMFT as well. This is very big shift. Supplies of the all goods and services by Indian Railways shall be taxed under forward charge to enable them to avail the input tax credit. This will reduce the cost for the Indian Railways. Is it covered under the reverse charge? Can you tell me whether supplies of goods by the railway, is it covered under reverse charge? Whether supply the services, all services are covered under reverse charge? Give me some reason why it is covered under reverse charge, or on which transaction the railway currently are paying the tax on forward charge basis. Can you please tell me that whether there is any transaction of goods on which RCM is applicable being supplied by the that particular Indian Railway? Whether all services provided by Indian Railway are covered under reverse charge or anything which is covered under forward charge? That is my question. अभी थोड़े से जनरल क्वेश्चन we will take at a later stage. Today discussion is only based on the 52nd GST Council meeting. आज का डिस्कशन 52nd GST Council recommendation का डिस्कशन करना है. So we would probably not be able to take the general question. Is it true the compliance rating? Nahi sir, Gujarat registered dealer given. Right. So which is covered under forward charge? Only transportation passenger services? No. If they are providing the transportation services, whether it is goods or services, transportation of passenger, of goods or passenger, sorry, not services. Service itself is the transportation of passenger. Then it is covered under forward charge. Rest everything which is being provided by the government, it will be covered under RCM. And second, if they are providing the immovable property to registered, it will be under RCM, but serial number 5 and 5A of RCM notification. Let's say Indian Railway has some property which is being rented to the ABC unregistered person, liability is shifted to them on forward charge basis. So we know that there are various transactions on which they are currently paying the tax under forward charge. Similarly, there are various transactions on which they are paying the tax. They are not paying the tax. Recipient are paying the tax under reverse charge, like immovable property rented to the registered person, like any government services, like old and used goods given by the government to the registered person. If it is unregistered, then again it will be under forward charge. So they are saying, please shift the liability to the goods or services provided by the Indian Railway under forward. So they have made the changes in the similar manner. This is very big. Amnesty scheme for filing of the appeal against demand order in case where the appeal could not be filed within the allowable time period. So that I can say it is a very big amnesty scheme. The people are asking why 31st March 23 has been taken. Why not latest date? Let's say 30th June. Think about that how much work is going to be increased by this amnesty scheme of every officer. Believe me, this could be the very probable. I feel that this decision would be very tough to pass in the GST Council meeting. Reason is, now the 31st December is the last date for SOCO's notice of 18-19. 31st December is the last date to issue the order of 17-18. Then next, again there is a due date. 31st March would be the last day to issue the order of 18-19 and the SCN of 19-20. In between, all the order which might have been settled as well, the SSC has paid the taxes, etc. Now they are saying it will be reopened. All the order will be reopened. So I can say that this type of the relaxation will help the trade a lot. Now they are saying all the order which has been passed till 31st March 2023 and for which appeal cannot be made. Now you can make the appeal up to 31st Jan 2024. Now, in this, we normally know that in the first appeal, 10% tax has to be paid. But now they are asking 10%, that is okay, plus 2.5%. Because we know that 10% can be paid through ITC. The pre-deposit can be made through ITC, that is no denial. But now they are saying additional 2.5% has to be paid in cash. Again, I can say this relaxation was a very big relaxation to all industries, because I have seen multiple ADT, departmental audit, are having this issue. Personal guarantee given by the director. They are using the schedule 1. They are giving the reference to the schedule 1 and by which they are saying even without consideration, it is leviable to tax. Issue the clarification. If no consideration is paid by the company to the director in any form, directly or indirectly, for providing the personal guarantee to the bank or financial institution, open market value would be 0. Now see, open market value would be 0. Why they are using the open market value? We know that as per the rule 28, if the transaction is with a related party, then open market value would be the value on which GST would be charged. If it is between related party or if it is between distinct person, then you cannot apply the transaction value. You have to apply the rule 28, which says that open market value, it will be taxable. So they are saying open market value is 0 and hence no tax can be payable. So that is a very big relief. Second, now they are saying to insert new sub rule for what? For corporate guarantee. So basically, this para is talking about two types of the guarantee. One is personal guarantee, one is corporate guarantee. So regarding the personal guarantee, if there is no consideration, no GST. And regarding the corporate guarantee, they are saying we will add new sub rule. Okay. Irrespective of whether full ITC is available, it means that rule would be non-obstant rule. Because we know in the rule 28 sub rule 1, there is a second proviso which talks about if full ITC is available. If full ITC is available, any value declared on the invoice would be the open market value. Now they are saying the new rule would be inserted to provide the corporate guarantee. Let's say head office is given the guarantee on behalf of the subsidiary company to the banks. So that corporate guarantee, will it be taxable? Will it be taxable? Answer is now yes. But the problem is open market value. The problem is open market value because we cannot identify the open market value. It is vary from loan to loan. It is vary from company to company. It is vary from bank to bank. So you cannot find any standard. So probably they will fix certain value. They will fix certain value. It could be, let's say, certain percentage of the loan, maybe 2%, maybe 3%, maybe 4%, whatever. I'm not saying what could be the percentage. I'm not aware, but we can say that they are fixing the certain percentage toward the loan, and it will be irrespective of whether ITC is available. So the rule 28 sub rule 2, probably it would be the non-obstant rule. Now they are saying the provision of automatic restoration of provisionally attached property after completion of 1 year. So what is that? So after completion of 1 year, we all know that section 83 provisional attachment, which talks about that, yes, the attachment would be disabled after the expiry of the 1 year. It will be open. But the problem is in the field, the bank are not allowing even after the expiry of the 1 year. Why? Because they are waiting, or they are saying to the taxpayer, kindly provide the written letter from the jurisdiction that now we can open the bank. Why there is a requirement? The requirement is because DRC 22, basically the instruction given by the office, GST department to the bank to attach, that does not have any period which is being mentioned in section 83. So correspondingly, now they are saying that DRC 22 will have the period of 1 year. That after the expiry of the period of 1 year, the DRC 22 will not be valid. So this particular written clarification would be, these all changes, believe me, these all changes are only after any judgment. So there is a one high court judgment. I'm not able to recall that there is a one high court judgment. They have instructed the council to make the corresponding changes in the form because bank are not allowing. The clarification with respect to the place of supply. So we will have the more clarity when the circular will be issued. But to the extent of I have the knowledge regarding the issue, I will share that issue. And then what could be the clarification? We don't know. Supply the service of the transportation of goods, including by mail or by courier. In case where the location of the supplier or recipient is outside India. First question to all of you. Which section I will apply to determine the place of the supply in this case? If location of the supplier or the recipient is outside India, which section I will apply to determine the place of supply? You have to give me the answer. Bank guarantee given by the director to the bank amendment applicable retrospectively. What if the notice issued to the pay GST on such transaction? So you can probably, we feel that it will not be retrospectively. Probably we feel that they will not make that retrospectively. It will be prospectively. But again, if notice has been issued, please file the appeal. Definitely the order would be in your favor. Because there is a corresponding RBI circular. If you go to the RBI circular, there is a restriction that in bank guarantee, director cannot take any amount. Director cannot take any amount. So that is a compulsion by law that you cannot make or you cannot take any money. So as a reason, it cannot be the supply at all, and therefore there is no GST. But still, if you have paid, now that one time period is open, so you can use that time period to file the appeal. And if it is a recent order, you can file the appeal. Definitely there would be the favorable decision. Okay, which section I will apply to determine the place of supply? You all have given the answer. Thank you so much. Section 13 of IGST. Now, please tell me one more thing. Please tell me one more thing. Transportation of goods. Is there some changes? Is there some changes from 1st October 23? If yes, tell me what is the changes. क्या कोई चेंज हुआ है क्या 1 अक्टूबर 23 से उस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन में या कुछ पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन 13 के कॉन्सेप्ट में? आंसर इज यस. 13 subsection 9, which is transportation of goods, omitted with effect from 1st October 23. It means it will go into the general principle 13.2 to determine the place of supply. That is okay. Problem was, it was having the word excluding. If you go and refer the section 13 subsection 9, what it was saying that transportation of goods other than by way of the mail or courier, field formation are raising the notices that if it is mail or courier, it cannot be by 13.9, or now it cannot be by 13.2 because it is being excluded. Earlier it is being excluded. So they are saying it is nothing but performance-based service with respect to goods. Try to understand the logic. They are saying mail or courier. If you are giving the goods to the, let's say, Blue Dart, and Blue Dart is making the delivery to outside India, and you are the customer located out of India, they are saying that it is nothing but the performance-based service with respect to goods. And according to 13 subsection 3 clause A, the location of the goods, the place where the performance has been made, that will be the place of supply. And you remember 13 subsection 6. What is that? So you might say, sir, when the Blue Dart will deliver the goods outside India, so the performance is outside India also. Correct? So you can say that some part are being handled in India, some part are being handled outside India. You might say because it has to be delivered outside India. 13 subsection 6 says that if there is more than one country, including India, including taxable territory, then पूरे transaction का place of supply क्या होगा? Taxable territory. So by virtue of 13 subsection 3 clause A and by virtue of the 13.6, they are saying mail and courier are not being included in the 13 subsection 9. Therefore, it will determine according to the 13.3 place of the performance. Therefore, the transaction का place of supply क्या होगा? India होगा, and it will not be treated as export. क्योंकि export के लिए place of supply कहाँ पे चाहिए? If you treat the transaction, for treating any transaction as export of service, what would be the place of supply as per section 2 clause 6? किसी भी transaction को मुझे अगर export कहना है, किसी भी transaction को अगर मुझे export कहना है, तो what should be the place of the supply? The place of the supply should be outside India. And by this problem, the place of the supply becomes India, and therefore they are saying, ये transaction export नहीं होगा. That problem was being faced by all the courier company. Now it will be, after clarification, now everything would be fall in the general principle default. So location of recipient is become the place of supply. Now the next clarification, advertisement services. Probably not sure, but I have listened from some of the Tamil Nadu members of educating that the suppose one advertisement company received the work from, let's say, Delhi based company. So let's say I make Cadbury. I like to place the advertisement in pan India. So I have given the I have hired one advertisement company in Tamil Nadu, let's say in Rajasthan, let's say in Maharashtra, and I've given the work that kindly place the advertisement. Now they can place the advertisement as a hoarding, as something else, something else. The problem is if it is being placed as hoarding on any immovable property or any particular, I can say the light or etc., any tower. In that case, it is being considered that location of that particular property would be the place of the supply because it is in relation to an immovable property. Meaning thereby, if West Bengal, if Maharashtra has raising the tax invoice to Delhi, to me, I'm Cadbury, so they will charge C pluses and of which I can't take the ITC. But placing the advertisement on any stall or any tower or any property, will it be immovable related services, property related services? No, not sure. So probably that would be the clarification will be given. So we don't know whether it will be C plus S or it will be the LOR. We don't know. Probably they will give the clarification between 13, not 13, section 12, subsection 2. Will it cover under general principle or will it be covered under specific one? Okay, immovable property 12.3. Regarding the co-location services, we don't know. So we cannot comment on that. What is the basically co-location services and what is the clarification? So we will have the more clarity or we can have the more discussion when the circular will be in place. Regarding the export of service, that is again big clarification. If amount is being received in Vostro INR account, field formation are rejecting the refund by saying that you have no FIRC or BRC, you cannot take the refund. Your transaction is not export of service, and rather they are raising that invoice, rather they are raising the SEN by saying that because it is not export, kindly pay the GST. Now they are clarifying that INR Vostro account, which is RBI permission only. Obviously, it is permitted by Reserve Bank of India. They are saying that if you receive the INR amount in the INR Vostro account, it will be treated as export of service. It means, you remember that in the section 2 clause 6, amount can receive in the foreign currency or wherever permitted by Reserve Bank of India, it can come in INR. So basically they are saying it is treated as RBI permitted INR only, and you can treat the transaction as export. So that was the problem which we were discussed on the 1st October, that whether SEZ unit can make the supply, whether you can make the supply to SEZ on IGST. The problem was because this notification was having the word only export. But the section 16 subsection 4 of IGST Act, which has been amended by the Finance Act 23 and made applicable now, 16.4, which is made applicable now, 1 October 23, which says that zero rated supplies can be made on LUT route always and on IGST only for the notified category. So because the notification is only using the word export, so that problem was created that from 1st October, you cannot supply the SEZ, you cannot supply to the SEZ on IGST route. Now they have given the clarification that to allow the supply to the supply the SEZ unit, except the commodity pan masala, etc., on payment of IGST or on LUT both. Okay. Other measure, alignment of the provision of the CGST Act with the provision of the Tribunal Reform Act in respect of the appointment of the president and member of the proposed GST appellate tribunal. Very good opportunity for all the advocates. Very good opportunity for all the advocates. Why I'm saying so? They are saying because that the provision of Tribunal Reforms Act. So for all the tribunals, the provision of the Tribunal Reform Act is being referred. But for the GST, there is a separate provision which we have made in the CGST Act. Now they are saying that you are not allowing. So now probably they were saying, and after that Madras High Court writ by Arvind Datar sir. that why the advocate is not eligible as judicial member, however, which is permitted by this Tribunal Reform Act. And second gap, that the age of the president, which is 70 year in the Tribunal Reform Act, but in your law, it is 67 year. So they are saying they will make the 70 years for judicial, and for technical, it is 67 year in the Tribunal Reform Act, but the law which is made in the GST, they are limiting the age of the 65 year. So they are saying there is a gap of this particular years. Kindly, so they have looked into and they have compared with the Tribunal Reform Act, and now they have made the amendment, two major amendment, that first advocate with 10 year of experience and max age of 50 years. So they are saying no member or president cannot be eligible unless he attend the age of the 50 years. So 50 year plus 10 year of experience, then he would be eligible to be appointed as judiciary member. So that is big opportunity for all the advocates. If you are the advocates or you are thinking to start the LLB, or you are in the process, please start the litigation practice. Please start the litigation practice, because they are saying substantial experience in the litigation. Under indirect tax law in the appellate tribunal, it means GST, excise, service tax, estate VAT, by whatever name called, or High Court or Supreme Court, it means commissioner appeal will not be counted as experience of litigation. So the bare minimum, it should be tribunal or High Court or Supreme Court. Then only you would be eligible for judiciary member in the tribunal. Law amendment with respect to IST as recommended in the 50th council meeting. We all know that the 50th council meeting, in the press release of the 50th council meeting, so the IST provision made optional, and they have given the clarification, clarity that the law would be amended to make the IST provision mandatory. So accordingly, law has been made mandatory. A law has been made amended, and probably it will be in the next Finance Act 24. It will be placed and approved. If approved, then I can say that from the next year, the IST process would be made mandatory. So by this, I have done with my 52nd GST Council meeting recommendation. I hope it is clear to all of you. If you have any specific question, kindly ask with respect to the 52nd GST Council meeting. We will spend 5 to 7 minutes on this. So along with advocate, CS would also be allowed as judiciary member. Habibji point is correct, but I think they have aligned with the Tribunal Reforms Act. So I'm not sure whether other Tribunal Reform Act have the provision of chartered accountant as judicial member or not. Not sure. My view, every tax consultant should be eligible. In my view, every tax consultant should be eligible. You can take the substantial experience, no problem. Himanshu ji, sir, is it mandatory to file the 9 even if the turnover? No. Himanshu ji, it has been clarified now. It has been clarified 2 months back. They have issued the notification up to 2 crore. It is optional, so not required to file. अश्विन ठाकुर, प्रवीण सोलंकी जी, हिमांशु जी, क्या क्वेश्चन आपका? If you have any question, kindly ask. We supply the goods, bill to ship to model, consignor reject the goods, how to goods send back, who generate, any party can generate the e-way bill. Any party can generate the e-way bill, any party can generate the delivery challenge. Suppose I have sent the goods under bill to ship to model, party has rejected, so I will prepare the delivery challenge to, and I will prepare the bill of e-way bill on that basis. So very nice answer. Ashwin Thakkar ji, 2-year time limit applicable in case of the refund of ocean freight. For everything, 2-year time limit is applicable. How to apply the refund for ocean freight paid on RCM basis, on CI basis, who close on the RFD1 is required to select any other refund? So you have not taken the ITC, is it? You have not taken the input tax credit. Is it expense out? Time limit of 2 year applicable, but again the time limit of 2 year applicable from the amendment in the law or from the order of the judgment. So that it is not because of the order, it is amendment made effective from 1st October. So you can say the time limit 2 year would be started from this particular 1st October. DRC-01 issued by the proper officer of the SGST department covering only SGST and CGST ITC reversal issue and not IGST reversal issue. Can IGST ITC reversal notice again issued IGST ITC? It possible. Is it? It is possible. 17-18 का normal time limit तो खत्म हो गया. It can be under section 74 only. I need to read that judgment, sir. Ashwin ji, you are very experienced person, so I will read this judgment and then can give the view. But practically, if you ask me, we have seen multiple notices in which they have issued the DRC-01 twice for the same period of any year, let's say. Can CA can be the accountant member as in case of ITAT? There is no concept of accountant member now. There is only in the appellate tribunal of the GST, I think, in the section 117, 118, all the relevant provision of the GST with respect to tribunal. So they are saying that one would be the president technical member and one would be the judicial member. Accountant member, I'm not sure if there is any concept or not. So as of now, I have not seen any provision of the chartered accountant in the tribunal. So my view would be no, that there is no concept of chartered accountant in GST appellate tribunal as of now. Any question? प्रवीण बंसल जी, आपका क्वेश्चन आंसर हो गया. प्रवीण सोलंकी जी, whether you have received your answer for your question. Any other question? So we can see the question. I will wait for 2 more minutes, and otherwise then we will close our today discussion, and thanking each one of you for participating in the live discussion. If you get benefited of this live discussion, which we are doing on every Sunday from 4 to 5 p.m. So please click on the like button and also click on the subscribe button. And we educating are running membership of the GST divided in 3 parts. Silver membership, wherein we are resolving the query, and gold membership, wherein we are giving the support of the 5 notices in reviewing the reply. So you can make the reply, can share the notice to educating email IDs. We will do the review and make the addition changes. Then third is the platinum membership, wherein we are providing the recording in first year of my entire 65 hours batch. And then in the next year onward, you can, when you renew, you can take any live batch of myself. For director personal guarantee, council give the only clarification in this meeting. So in view, it is, if it is clarification, then obviously your point is absolutely correct. Clarification would always have the retrospective effect. So they will only give the clarity. It means it will have the retrospective effect only. All right. I was saying about rule 28 sub rule 2 regarding the corporate guarantee. Whether any clarification with respect to will be construed retrospectively, answer is yes, because they will clarify by circular, and circular we know that it will have always retrospective in the nature. Please re-advise for the courier service changes. मैं करता हूँ re-advise. Let me open that. Give me only 1 minute so that I can explain about the educating membership. 1 मिनट दीजिएगा मुझे सिर्फ. So we are running that educating membership regarding this 3 concept of the membership: silver, gold, platinum. So certain part are covered in the silver, only query handling, and then the query plus resolution, that review of the 5 notices, gold, and platinum education, 65 hours ka recording, and then a review of the notices, and then the 5 notices, and then handling the GST queries on the WhatsApp group. Plus, we are providing the multiple webinar in the platinum. We are providing certain additional course also at a reduced price. Also, we have started one very important course, scrutiny of return, for which we have completed 2 classes. Scrutiny of return will give the clear idea regarding all these notices, whether it is ASMT 10 or it is departmental audit. So basically, I have seen multiple notices of Pan India. After that notices, I am of the view that they are based on the scrutiny of returns only. So it means if you are thorough about the scrutiny of return, and you can do the checking before filing like GSTR 9 for this current year. Okay. So you will reduce the possibility of the notices to that extent. Second, might be that there is no possibility to reduce that litigation, but at least you can start working. You can have the working for your client, which will save the time when probably you have the notices and you will not be able to spend sizable time to reply that notices. So you can parallelly start working on the reconciliation, which we will discuss in the scrutiny of return. 2 classes has been completed. The total 10 classes would be there. So if you are interested, you can go our website www.educating.com and inquire about this course. I'm sharing the link of educating scrutiny of written course, as well as the membership of educating in the chat. So if you are interested, you can inquire with our member. The point which I'm talking about, Chandni Gupta ji, sir, please re-advise for the courier service charge. What is the question? Courier service charge matlab? So regarding that courier charge, so they will issue the clarification. If one party in India, one party outside India, some of the state were of the view that it is covered in the 13 subsection 3 and the place of the supply would be India and it is not export. Now the clarification would probably, they will say that it is covered under the general principle. So by mean we can say that your transaction will continue to be treated as export of the service. Is that point you like to discuss or anything else? आशु चोपड़ा जी, मेरे हिसाब से हो सकता है, बट DRC 01C, DRC 01C, हाँ वो तो हो ही सकता है ना, वो तो अभी जो नया स्टार्ट किया है वो तो रिकंसिलिएशन, एंड दैट विल नॉट बी फॉर द पीरियड ऑफ 17-18. दैट इज प्रोस्पेक्टिव इन द नेचर. DRC 01C, DRC 01D, that is all prospective in the nature. Recently they have added the same in the law. So it is prospective in the nature, not the retrospective. Chandni Gupta ji, if you could listen, kindly reiterate your queries so that I can provide the concrete reply to your question. Any other question? Any other question? Kindly tell me if you have any other question. When courier outside India, payment received in will it be export? No, sir. It will not be treated as export. Amount has to come in foreign currency or wherever permitted by Reserve Bank of India, like INR Vostro account. It will be export. And if you have the RBI approval, then it is export. If you do not have the RBI approval, then if the amount is being received in INR, it is not export. Because it is one of the condition of section 2 clause 6 that it should be. So there is courier. So what is the clarification on the courier charges? That probably it will be clarified that it is not covered in the 13 subsection 3. It will be covered in the general principle. Okay. That is okay, fine. So thank you very much to all of you for your lovely participation, active discussion. Goodbye to all of you. We'll meet on the next Sunday at the same time. Thank you.